And of course, it is changing every day, but we have 250 or 260,000 people around the world. So it's big, according to any standards. 250,000, including half of it, 150,000 people would be in new emerging markets. A significant part would be in India, 70,000 people in India, close to 20,000 people in the Philippines, just to give you some of the big numbers. We are shy of 10,000 people in Brazil, 6,000 to 7,000 people in China, just to mention some of the big new markets where we have our people.
In Africa too?
And in Africa as well.
Mauritius?
No. South Africa is our largest operations. In all Africa, we are in the range of the $700 million revenues in Africa. So we big. So we have a significant footprint, of course, in all the different continents. Our roots are close to Chicago. In the time, you probably remember the Arthur Andersen days. So I joined Arthur Andersen in '83. So rapidly after I graduated the school and did my military service. And our center of gravity definitely was Chicago, US. Then the firm moved from the US to Europe. And now we are on this journey, given the dramatic change in the overall geopolitical economic environment we will have the opportunity to discuss. We continue our move from west to east and north to south. And it's a very dramatic agenda we are driving today. Just as a data point, in the US as we speak, we have 30,000 people. So on 250, only 30,000 left in the US. We are incorporated in Ireland, so we are not an American company. We are not a French company. We are an Irish company, so we are a European company. And in Europe, we have more than 60,000 people. So Europe, from a business standpoint, would be the center of gravity. Not from a people standpoint, but from a business standpoint, we are truly European. So we are listed in the New York Stock Exchange, incorporating in Dublin. The CEO is French. And we have most of our resources in India, China, Brazil, Philippines, and elsewhere. So this is probably what I would describe as a truly global company. And we are even, I would say, we would probably qualify it as the single most truly global company of our size in the world, because we do not have any headquarters. So there is nothing like a physical place where you will have the leadership. In most of the organization, you will have the place where you have the leadership. It's true for Microsoft. It's true for all the companies in the world. As far as I know, there is only one in the world, only one of our size, without any headquarters in the world, and that company is Accenture. So we're working only on a virtual basis. That's why I'm mentioning that listed in Dublin, listed in New York, incorporated in Dublin. I'm physically in Paris when my family is in Paris. So I've got a CEO corner, if you will, in the Paris offices. So there is president for our Paris operation. So I'm the guest of my friend. There is only me here. And if you take the 20 members of our global management committee, all the 20 members are living in 20 cities. And we are gathering and having all our meetings on a virtual basis, leveraging technology, telepresence, webcast, whatever. So only with the iPad or iPhone, we can have a meeting with the leadership team whenever we want, wherever we are. I can even have one here with you. That would be good fun. But it's first, it's an illustration on how you can manage a giant in a way which is extraordinarily flexible and nimble, which is probably part of the thing you've been discussing, as well as being truly global. I don't believe you could be truly global if you have a headquarters in the US, or even if you have all your leaders in a single place. And even if your leaders are from different countries, if you live and if you work in the same place, I don't think you could claim to have the global awareness. Three, I would say the philosophy, the kind of company philosophy, the thing you believe in. As you're getting bigger, more and more decentralized, with more and more geographies, and you're leading a world which is more and more different, what is remaining common to the whole thing? And this is where you're getting to the principles and values. Because this is where you're recreating, what we are calling the Accenture way. Your way of doing things. That might be the one HSBC or whatever. What we're calling in our jargon the glue. The secret sauce, which is what are we calling the kind of culture, principle, values, which are keeping the whole thing together, despite the size. Just imagine in Accenture, in 5 years from now, so we are 250,000 people as we speak. In 5 years from now, we will have to recruit 300,000 people. And with the turnover, we will lose 230,000 people, which means in 5 years from now, we will have to recreate Accenture from scratch. So you have a couple of dinosaurs like me. But, so I'm maybe I've got the sauce from Chicago, but we have less and less people who could, describe this sauce from the partnership and so forth. Now, given our growth, our turnover, and just the size, we have 5,000 partners, senior executive. 2/3 have been with us for less than 10 years. So they didn't know the partnership. They didn't know Arthur Andersen. They didn't know Andersen Consulting. They don't know our roots, Chicago and all that kind of thing. So they know us now. So working very hard on the values and on your principles is extremely important. Four, I think, which are for me important. The first one, as you can't manage the beast every day and put your hand on. If you like to manage things, you're dead. Because when you're managing China, you're not in Brazil. When you're managing Brazil, you're not launching South Korea. So you can't. You just can't. So it's all about inspiring. The only thing you could do is inspiring. And in this inspiring chapter, I would put having a clear vision and simple, because this is what people want at the end of the day. Tell me where we're going, and then we will figure out. But give me the direction. You need to be authentic. People need to feel that's you. So when they're listening to you, they're not listening to, you're not an actor. You're not playing the CEO and you're someone else. So authentic leadership is key. You need to be a role model, especially when you're a CEO of a large organization. This is something I learned, you're permanently watched by your people, by the journalists, by the market, by Greenpeace, by whoever, NGOs, Altermondialistes. Everybody's watching you, and so if they detect a defect, it's a problem. I have tons of defects, but some are less visible than others. And you need to leave your corporate values. Important, and not leaving the values yourself. So that's the inspire thing. The second is the drive. You need to drive, not to manage, to drive, to lead. This is what people expect. They expect you to on the front line, not to orchestrate from your office. That's why it's good to have no place to be and no headquarters. Because I will be at the headquarters organizing meeting with my direct report, and we will have meetings on meetings. We don't have any headquarters. We are not in the same place. We can't have meetings. So everybody's moving, and we have our physical meeting. We decide where it's going to be. Say, why don't we go to Brazil? Okay, let's go to Brazil and figure out Brazil. So you need to lead. You need to be decisive. That's something which is extraordinarily important. The CEO is the one who, at the end of the day, is making the toughest decision. Not the easy one, but the toughest. And people will look at you whether you're able to make. And it's not so much whether the decision is going to be good or bad. It's to decide. And then hopefully you would expect that the probability will work for you on the good and bad. It's all the strategic thinking. So you need to be at ease with this complexity VUCA thing. And taking calculated risk, which is important for the board. I work with the board in two sort of thing, drive, deliver value. But at the end of the day, when I was appointed by the board, they interviewed me, blah, blah, blah. And before, said, do you have any question for you, Pierre, to the board? I said, yeah, what do you expect from me? What would be your kind of 2 or 3 priorities? And one of the board members said, don't screw up. That was the only kind of recommendation. But I think it's profound and it's telling exactly what that means. At the end of the day, people expect you to lead, to drive, to change, to do the thing, but take calculated risk is absolutely key. Because you can, I mean, look at and again, I'm not bashing anything or whatever. Look at what happened with HP. I mean, it's very telling on, when a set of challenges could get you in a difficult position. 3, being reliable as a CEO. And on this, I would put trust, seamless execution, telling the truth. It's interesting to see that in a recent survey I've seen recently, it was a survey on who do you trust. I don't know whether you've been through that. It's a very interesting one if you could find. So from the journalists, the media, the NGOs, your mother, your father, your brother, your friend, your whatever, your wife, and the CEO of a company. Who was at the bottom of the list? So it is disappointing, which is now, post-crisis, it was not vibrant before the crisis, but before the crisis, the CEO would probably in the top 5. After the crisis, the CEO was at the bottom of the list as we don't trust anymore a CEO in what he's saying. You imagine that? It's a problem when you're driving a big organization. You're communicating to your people, to the analysts, to the investors, to the board, and someone will say, no, I don't trust you, Pierre. I don't. That would be a big problem. So trust is key. Telling the truth is key, even when you have a problem. Now, the name of the game is to tell the truth, and that's why you will see more and more companies asking third parties, working with third parties, NGOs, and so forth. So today you can't claim you have a good corporate citizenship thing. People will call that, okay, you're doing greenwashing, or you try to look good. If you want to be credible, you will need to partner with an NGO who will, to some extent, bring that credibility to you and say, no, we work with Accenture, and we can confirm that indeed they walk the talk. And finally, you need to be relevant, and that's probably why this global MBA is all about. And relevant means you need to be informed, you need to be open, you need to be global, and you need to learn, and learn. Especially in the current environment. So that's something I'm doing a lot. I'm reading, I'm talking to people, I'm in different forums of other CEOs, I'm in the professional organization. I was in the Commission Attali under our current thing. So I'm trying to do other things to stay relevant. And to stay relevant, I'm traveling the world. So if you want to be relevant and understand China, you need to be in China. You need to go in India. You need to talk to the South Korean. And being relevant is what you're doing here. And that's extremely important. Inspiring, a driver, reliable, and relevant. That's it.
So do you feel that now that you've moved up in the levels of organization in Accenture, do you sort of lose touch with what the client's needs are? Or are you still very much in touch and you understand very well what the factors are? And if so, what are some of those factors that make a client want to choose Accenture over, let's say, a Deloitte of the world or something
Sure.
like that?
Yeah, I mean, answer to your second question is easy. We're just the best. So it's an easy choice for them. Now, first, the day, and it's my point number 4, the day I would feel I'm not relevant from a client standpoint, first, either I would leave Accenture or probably they would fire me in the first place. I mean, for a very simple reason, we are a service company, a professional services company. So we are I mean, we does exist only because we're serving clients. And that's different. I mean, in the manufacturing, you're serving, but it's different. When you're in the services business, and especially in professional services, I'm relevant because I'm delivering a service we're going to co-create together. So I'm not manufacturing tie or whatever, you know. So we need to understand what the clients want to buy because we are manufacturing the products with the client. Second, we are extraordinarily client-centric. Many organizations would claim they're client-centric. We are, and that would take more time, maybe another chapter. So what that does mean to be client-centric, really, and starting with the top of the organization. Being relevant is key for your credibility, and your credibility not only with the board, not only with the analyst, but the credibility with your people. I mean, the day I would be irrelevant, even talking about cloud, and one would say in the audience, Pierre, you have no clue. You are irrelevant. You imagine? It's the end of it's the end of days. So it's an imperative in Accenture to stay relevant. That's why I put that in our top 4. And I'm traveling, I'm meeting clients, I'm shaping proposal. Of course, I'm not, and I will not be, you know, really on the edge of the mobility, the cloud. When it's becoming too technical, we have people very good at it. But at least you need to get it.